Hello and welcome to A Novel Idea, the show where we interview authors. My name is Noelle Boc. I am your host and I am here today with Peter Swanson.
Nice to see you again.
I know, so welcome back.
Thank you. It's been 2 years.
Yeah, we had you on the show before with the Christmas guest, your novella. And now we're going to talk about Kill Your Darlings that came out this year.
Not a Christmas book, but we are wearing our Christmas attires.
And there is a Christmas scene.
There is, you're right.
There is a Christmas scene.
Yeah.
Because I actually just finished it this week, so I'm very freshly
You probably
up to
know it better than I know it at this point.
I might, because you're already working on something else.
Yeah.
It's taking up all your time. So there's a lot of interesting things to talk about with this book without, giving anything away.
Yeah.
So let's see how I want to phrase this. So Kill Your Darlings. So we have our main characters, Tom and Wendy. Who are a married couple.
Yeah.
And so what you do that's very interesting in this book, and we're going to talk about how you got this idea and why you did it this way, is you sort of start with the murder, and then you work backwards.
Yeah.
So talk about, where that came from.
Well, for a while now I've been wanting to write a book, a mystery novel that goes in reverse. And I'm not sure exactly why I wanted to do that. I've read a couple other novels that go in reverse, and I thought it would be a really interesting idea to see, to start at the end and go back to the beginning. I don't think it's entirely novel because I think a lot of mystery novels bounce around in time frames.
Yep, they do sometimes, yeah.
But I wanted to see if I could do one that entirely went from beginning to end. But I didn't really have a story for it. And then I came up with a story. Actually, it was independent of thinking of a reverse timeline, but I was thinking the spark for the story of Tom and Wendy was thinking about one of my favorite genres, which is the adulterous couple killing a spouse story. So I think I think in terms of movies, you can think of Double Indemnity, you can think of Body Heat. It's kind of a classic film noir or noir type of story where an adulterous couple plan to bump off a spouse, usually for money, and then they can marry themselves. These, as we know from reading these or seeing these movies, it does not go well. It ends badly for everybody, usually. But I had this idea, which is, what if it went well? What if the adulterous couple succeeded, and then they got married, and they'd been married for 30 years? Where would they be at? What would they be like later in life? And would they trust one another? Would they be haunted? All these sort of things. And that's when I said, oh, well, this could be my reverse book. Because we'll start with a couple in their 50s. We know they've done something bad in the past. We don't exactly know what it is or how it played out, but we know that they've done something bad, and we know that, and this is not a spoiler alert because it's in the first sentence, which is that Wendy is feeling the need that she needs to kill her husband, that he's going to give away something, their secrets. So then I was like, okay, this is my reverse book.
and there you were.
Yeah.
And I was just curious because when I was reading through it, so I have, my partner loves Columbo.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, which is sort of like the same idea too, right? Where you're starting with the murder. Yeah. And then you're seeing this person come in and solve it, right? So it doesn't go backwards in time, but how you already know. You already know.
Columbo's interesting that way, and it's every episode is the same. It starts with you see the whole murder.
Yep.
Right. So it's not a whodunit.
Right.
You never. It's a how will Columbo well, we know he's going to figure it out. Yeah, it's the process of watching him cat and mouse his way to the end. Yeah.
Did you actually? I mean, obviously, you started with this idea of how it starts, but did you have to go to the end and work?
I didn't write it. I wrote it in the order that.
Oh, you wrote it in that order?
Except, I did know. So sometimes when I write a book, I don't quite know how it's going to end, and I'm kind of flying by the seat of my pants. This one I kind of needed to know because I needed to know exactly what they'd done in the past, and in order to understand where they were when we first get introduced to them, which is in their 50s. So I sketched that out. I kind of knew what had happened, and I knew we were going to go all the way back to when they meet, when they're, I think, 13 or 14, and they meet briefly. They're briefly at the same middle school. So I kind of knew more about this book, but really I wrote it in this order, although oddly I've read it. After I finished it, I re-put it back in chronological order, and I read it to make sure it made sense.
Yeah, that would be an actual interesting experience to do it, to read it again going the opposite direction.
To read it in the way it should go. And yeah, I just needed to make sure that I wasn't like somehow messing something up. But yeah, I mean, I won't do it again. Let's just say this. I'm never writing another book in reverse again, because it's really hard. It's really hard to keep starting again and realize that your characters don't know anything that you just wrote about. Like you're...
Right, because I was paying attention, especially near the end, because once I didn't realize at first that you weren't going to jump around in time.
Okay, yeah, right.
Like so when you first go see a time slot, I'm kind of like, oh yeah, all right, that we're going to go back to the present again.
Oh right.
But then you don't, and so and I'm like, oh, we're keeping going back. So it took me a little while to catch on that we're going to keep going backwards in time. So I was paying attention to whether or not this character now in this other segment would have known, like this other thing. Like so you did a great job with that, because like you don't overlap at all where like you would be like, oh well, they shouldn't have known this or anything like that.
But it stretches you, I think, and you're so used to reading chronologically that it kind of it changes the way you read, but it also changes the way you write. So I had to sort of rewire how I thought about a story when going in this direction. So it was
so interesting. Yeah, because the other one I think I was thinking about was Memento.
Yeah.
Which also is different because he has amnesia, or whatever it is he has. Isn't there? I can't remember what the term.
He has something
like he can't hold on to it.
He can't hold on to any memories.
Right.
So in a weird way, he mirrors. He can't remember what just happened. So when you go backwards, it kind of works. So I looked at that movie. I mean, I always do this kind of thing when I'm writing a book. Is I look at things that are similar, and I had a couple. Memento was one. One of the cool things about Memento was it built suspense that as we're going backwards, we're nervous about what happened before as opposed to nervous about what's coming next.
Right.
Because like him, we don't know. He doesn't remember. But, I think at one point you see someone holds up a picture to him and he's all bloody and it's scary looking and he can't remember what he did. But then the viewers are like, woo, something bad happened there.
Right.
And we're going to find out because we're going in reverse. So I thought a lot about, I did think about Memento. I thought about a play by Harold Pinter called Betrayal, which is a play that goes in reverse, and it's about an affair. So it's just three characters, and it starts with the end of the affair and the end of the marriage, and everything's gone badly, and it goes back to the beginning of the affair when there's, it's this sort of burgeoning romance. And it was, for whatever reason, they made a movie version with Jeremy Irons and Ben Kingsley that has pretty much been forgotten, but I saw it when it came out, I was probably like 13. It was in 1981, I think. And it kind of stuck with me. And oddly, this is just pure trivia, there's a Seinfeld episode that goes backwards.
Oh, is there?
Yes. And one of the main characters in that episode is called Pinter. And that's a reference to that play. So there is a Seinfeld episode that goes entirely backwards.
It's funny, because we always have coincidences. I literally just started rewatching Seinfeld.
Well, you'll get to it, and you'll be like, okay, it all comes together.
What is it about us? There's always something.
Always something.
There's always something. Well, I was joking with you before the show too, that like when we talked about the Christmas guest, that I was like, a lot of this paralleled my life. Hold on a second. And I was happy to say that this book does not parallel my life, except for that I did live in Austin, Texas for
Oh, okay.
for a couple of
Yeah, yeah.
years. So I
Well, I'm glad it doesn't parallel your life.
But Texas.
Because the other thing, I mean, it's a very unhappy marriage
Right.
when we jump into it. In
Yeah.
fact, it's mostly an unhappy marriage, but like it's kind of a bleak marriage story, or at least, yeah, where it starts.
Right. Yeah. 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 For sure. Now, I wanted to circle back around a little bit to the movies as well, because
Yeah.
you do a lot with movie references
Yeah.
in this book. So you do, and like you've already mentioned, like Body Heat and
Yeah,
Double
yeah.
Indemnity. But a big centerpiece is The Exorcist.
Oh, yeah.
And so why The Exorcist? Is that, well, you can tell me if you have any particular reasons why you decided to pick out The Exorcist for this.
It doesn't have this enormous like symbolic impact. Like I'm not trying to say that like there's some sort of like possession element. Although I do think, I mean, you never really know your themes when you're a writer and you're starting a book. Like, I do think there's more of a theme of not religion per se in this book, but this idea: are we being watched? Like, are we
Yes.
being judged? Like, and one of the in the couple, one of them has sort of moved on and compartmentalized their lives, is no longer haunted by the fact that they've done bad things. And one of them has not. One of them is carrying guilt. And so it's really this idea of like, you know, if you get away with it, are you know, did you really get away with it? So there is this sort of religious element, and The Exorcist is in many ways like a very religious film. It was actually,
Right, yeah, yeah.
the Catholic Church is pro The Exorcist. Like they gave it their approval. But anyway, the reason it just kind of randomly came up that that I could set a scene at the Exorcist steps, which I've gone to see. And the Exorcist steps are these very high steps in Georgetown, where the movie was filmed. In the film, it's where Father Karras, sorry, spoiler alert if you haven't watched The Exorcist, just go see it, go watch it. Main character falls to their death on those steps. And people go and look at them now as like to remember the movie, and people also go and exercise on them, which I mentioned in the book.
Right, yeah,
like
yeah,
people
yeah.
run up and down them. I don't know, and suddenly it like entered this book and it became this thing that it was a crucial scene. It's two crucial scenes in the book.
Yeah.
And I think it's, you know, maybe just because I'm a movie person, when I first went to DC on my first trip, you know, I was much more interested in going to see the Exorcist steps than I was in going to see the Smithsonian or the White House or the Monument or Lincoln and all that. Like I was like, I don't care what else we do, but I want to go to Georgetown and pay homage to this very scary movie.
And I didn't even know they were in Georgetown, so that was like new information for me.
So you're not a huge fan of The Exorcist. That's not another coincidence.
I mean, I have seen it,
Yeah.
for sure, but I did not. I was like, oh, that's where the steps are. Okay, like
Yeah, Georgetown.
That's good to know. Like
Yeah,
next
yeah,
time I'm
yeah.
in DC, I'll
Yeah, you can go check them out.
I can go check
Be very
them out.
careful. They're very steep.
Yeah,
Yeah, as you.
clearly they are dangerous steps just
They
from the
are.
movie alone. Like
Yeah.
you can keep thrown down them by
Yeah.
by a force.
By a 12-year-old possessed girl. Right.
Yes, yes. Though I do want to go back to a little bit what you just said a little bit earlier about being watched.
Yeah.
Because as soon as you said that too, that I think is a very interesting piece in that these two characters, where one who is still struggling with the bad things that they did
Yeah.
forever, seems completely, even though he's sort of tortured and worried about things, seems to be completely unaware of like that someone could go back and haunt him in that way, like actually someone could watch you, or
Yeah.
whereas Wendy seems to be quite hypervigilant around the idea that she could be watched or seen, or somebody might still come and watch and see them, even though she's compartmentalized it in
Yeah.
a different way. So I find that like that was like very, and just I guess I kind of noticed it when I was reading it, but now that you kind of brought it up again, I'm like, oh, you know, the whole idea of who's can see you and who isn't seeing you.
Well, there's an idea of confession as well, which is, you know, she's worried in the very beginning of the book that she discovers he's maybe writing a novel, which is a thinly veiled thing about what they've done, and she's worried that he has a need to confess, and that to her is, her whole thing is no one knows anything about what we've done till the day we die. We keep this hidden, and so in a weird way, a part of him wants to acknowledge it.
Right.
Well, maybe, and if it's in a Catholic sense, and I'm not Catholic, but it's it's the idea of like forgiveness and confession. So, and again, it's not like I set out writing a book and thought this book's going to have a religious element of like, but I knew it was a book about morality in a sense, and how we deal with bad deeds. But yeah, and at some point I was like, oh, this idea is popping up throughout this book. It's always, that's the fun of writing a book, is not knowing exactly what it's about when you start it.
Well, there's interesting threads in it, because you like you're kind of saying too, there's like the thread of morality, as you say, throughout it, and whether someone deserves to die or not die. That comes up as a justification. Sure. More than once. Yeah. I guess I'll say through the storyline of like whether, is it okay for in certain circumstances to do away with somebody, and then as you say, like it's the crime and punishment piece, where should you feel bad, about, well, that person was a rotten, horrible person, so they deserved it, like really they deserved it, and like, should I feel bad about that? And then if you do feel bad about it, so like, should I be punished? Is it okay that, and that's in the very, very beginning, so we're not really giving away in the very beginning, that's Tom's struggle, right, is that he's kind of like, I feel like we should have been punished, but we haven't been, and that's,
why weren't we punished?
Why weren't we punished?
Why weren't we punished for what we've done? Yeah.
We're still living a charmed life. Yeah.
We're making my book sound very philosophically deep. But maybe more than it is. But anyway, but these are ideas that we're on the edge, but
You're like, wait a minute, did I write a philosophically deep book?
Yeah. I did, didn't I?
You did it, and you have no idea. Yeah. Well, that's like the interesting piece, because I think there's a lot of books, like this is, however, if you want to call it a mystery, a thriller, whatever the mix is that we call these books nowadays. A thriller, a Miller, I don't know. But
there's so many subgenres to the genre.
Right.
I think I'm definitely thriller, not mystery. For whatever reason, I've been punched into that category. I guess psychological thriller.
Psychological thriller. Yes.
There we go.
That would probably be the correct term for it. But as such, like maybe a lot of people don't pick up a thriller to say like I want to be psychologically challenged, or whatever. But I mean, I do think that you have, whether you intended it or not, like woven in, some themes that would make you think a little bit about these ideas, these kind of big ideas, and there's also this whole idea of, if you've committed a crime, should you pay for it, right? Like in the beginning, and then if you've committed a crime, does it set you up to commit more crime? Right. Is that a natural follow through of,
Yes. Well, and I think there's a whole slew of books which are about that, which is you one slippery deed. I mean, I think there's you take the money instead of returning it or whatever, and then suddenly your life is just it's just crime after crime, the cover up, and all that. So I mean crime mystery novels for the most part, even at their coziest or least or most sort of. Angela Fletcher, Murder, She Wrote. I'm trying to think of the word without sounding like I don't like this genre, and I like all the genres of this. They're essentially morality tales. I mean, we'll go back to Columbo, but Columbo's morality tale. I mean, and it's about watching someone pay for their deeds.
Get caught for their deeds. Now I have to talk about one of my most favorite things. In your book. Which is there's the party scene, the bigger party scene, and it's like I'm
Okay.
Using this now, this question now is, if you were going to drop dead on the dance floor, what song would you want to drop dead to? And I was like, this is an amazingly awesome question, and like an icebreaker or like a conversation starter for people. So I didn't know if you stole it from somewhere or if you came up with it, because
I think I came up with it. I'm trying to remember. So is that their 50th?
Yeah, it's their.
No, they're 20.
Yeah, it's an anniversary.
They're both turning 50.
Oh, that's it.
Because they're actually birthday twins.
Right, because they're birthday twins.
Yes, the married couple in it were born on the same day in the same year.
Yes.
So they're birthday twins. So they celebrate their 50th birthday together. And one of the questions, that comes up in the party is, if you're going to drop dead on the dance floor, what song do you want to be dancing to? I think she says Sinner Man.
Yep, I think that's
by
right.
Nina Simone, which is probably my choice. I mean, I love that song.
Really?
I'm not a big dancer, but I will dance to that song. And of course, Sinner Man is interesting because it's about sinning. It's all coming together now.
Did you do this on purpose?
Yeah, no.
Did you actually think about what you wrote?
No, it's your subconscious. Yeah, so I don't know. Well, another good one would be Psycho Killer. I do like that song. That is a good dance song. I mean, that's a song I've probably been dancing to, and again, I don't dance that much, but I think in like middle school or high school dances, I think that album had just come out, and Psycho Killer was a big dance song back then. So
yeah, it's a good
It's a good one, and apropos, I guess.
Yeah, apropos. Yes, and I was. So then, of course, now I have had to give this like some thought,
okay.
which I haven't firmly decided yet. But I was thinking of like Depeche Mode's "Just Can't Get Enough."
Yeah.
Would be like a good way to go out.
That's a good way to go out. That's a good song.
Yeah, it's a good song, and you're like bopping along, and then.
Does one of them say a New Order song?
Yes, someone says one of the New Order songs. Which
and I always have a tough time with those titles, but it's the one, How Does It Feel? That's the line.
Yes.
But yes, I do like that song as well.
Yeah.
And
but I thought that, so I've actually already started to try to use this.
We can put together
with people.
a Spotify mix list of dance songs to drop dead to.
See, like that's a great idea.
There we go.
See that? But yeah, I was at a holiday, it was a Krampus party the other weekend, and I was
Krampus party?
Krampus, yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
wow.
Do you know what Krampus is? Yeah.
Well, he's like a malevolent,
evil
Christmas figure.
Yeah,
I have not heard of Krampus parties. So
oh yeah, I mean, we don't do anything really besides have a good time at the Krampus party and wear some horns, maybe.
Okay, yeah.
But you the idea that he's scooping up people in sacks and like beating the kids and beating them and stuff like that.
Yeah.
He's an anti. But
I think I have an idea for my next book.
Yeah, a couple.
Krampus party.
Krampus party. Yeah, a couple who's a friends, but they've been doing them for years.
Oh, okay.
Years and years, and so it's a tradition to go to the Krampus party. Usually, I was a little disappointed this year because usually they roast a pig, do a pig roast.
Okay.
And this year we did not have the pig roast, so it was sad.
But you did scoop up some children in sacks.
We did not. There were lots of children present, though. Because
Yeah.
now everybody's at that age, where everybody's had kids or like there's kids around.
Yeah.
So like there were children that could be scooped up
All right.
if necessary, but that did not happen.
It did not happen. All right.
It did not happen. There were a number of us who had some kind of horns.
Wow. All right.
But that's, otherwise, it's just food, drink, and a good time. But I did meet a couple of new people, and I brought up that question. I'm like, I just read this in the book,
okay.
and I was like, what would be your songs? And it's good because people do not have instant answers. People have to think about it, and they'll be like, oh, gosh, and so then it becomes a whole discussion of whether you want to pick a song about dying,
Yeah.
or whether you want to pick a song about your life or living, just.
Well, I think the idea of it is you're going to suddenly drop dead on the dance floor. You want to be listening to a great song that's got you, so your last moment on earth. This is getting very grim. Because there's another question, which is if you're on your deathbed and dying, you want to pick a song that you want to listen to, and that's very different. You really wouldn't want a dance song. in that
Right.
case. Well, you might.
Well, you might. Well, yeah, you might.
might,
Like,
but,
who
yeah.
knows?
Who knows?
I know. Like, it's different because you'd be like, oh, what are your last words gonna be? And you're like, oh, that would be like too grim. But like, oh,
Yeah.
but the dancing implies some
All
kind
right.
of happy activity or whatever.
Okay.
So I feel like this should catch on
All right.
as
We'll
a
see.
as a major
We'll
thing.
see if it catches on.
Well, we will see. So what are you working on now?
So interestingly enough, since I'm in a Christmas sweater, my next book to be released will be another Christmas novella.
Ooh, all
creepy,
right.
creepy Christmas novella, and that'll be in a year from now.
Oh, all right.
It's already written.
It's already
It's already
written.
done and edited and all that, and it's called "Do You See What I See?"
Ooh.
So, and I'm excited about it because I loved. I think I talked about this last time, but I loved writing in the novella form. I think when you're writing a book that's sort of 120 pages as opposed to 300 pages, you can kind of tell one sinister tale, and you don't have to. It can be less complex. It can be different. You have
Right,
like
yeah.
it opens up ideas for you. So I'm excited about that, and then starting work on my next novel, which is just a tiny little idea in my head.
right. Now it's a tiny idea. Well, so I remember when we met last time, we talked about the Christmas guest. Like, you talked a little bit about how it was a little bit of a sell for you to your publisher.
Yeah.
Because they were like, what is this?
To my American publisher, so
Right.
yeah, we talked about this, but the UK publisher, so I have a separate UK publisher, and my editor there actually asked for a Christmas book, and he said, you can write a novella, you could write it, it could be cozier than you normally do, it could be whatever. And it was a hard sell to my American publishers who didn't really understand the idea of creepy Christmas. But my American publishers asked for the second one, so I think they did well with the first one, and they want another one. So,
Right.
so yeah, I mean, I think it's already a thing in the UK, like this idea of, and maybe it's starting to become. Are there Hallmark movies that are mystery-ish? I don't know.
Maybe. I don't know.
Certainly not creepy, but maybe not. But yeah, there is this idea of that Christmas Eve you might read a book that's both Christmassy and kind of dark, like The Christmas Carol.
Right. Yes.
Which I think is so I think maybe that's more of a UK thing.
Yeah. Right.
But-
Well, that would make sense.
And a me thing, because I like that too.
Well, very good. Well,
All right.
our time has run
Ah.
out.
Flew
Sadly,
by.
I know we could talk all day.
Yeah.
But thank you so much for coming in.
Thanks for having me.
I know, it's always a pleasure to have you. And we'll have to have you give,
Well,
this will
in a
be our
year.
tradition.
Yeah.
We said this will be our tradition. We'll wear our Christmas clothes
Yeah.
and we'll have our December.
Next year,
our December ones.
Krampus sweaters.
Next year, Krampus sweaters, horns.
Yeah, and
We'll have
horns.
to wear
Yes.
horns. And we'll have a new Christmas novella
I know,
to
it's
talk
all
about.
coming together.
So that's it. We have a plan.
We
have
do.
a plan. So thank you all for watching A Novel Idea, and I hope to have you back to see me and whoever is next in my chair again next time. Pick up Peter's books because he's fabulous, and we'll see you again. Bye.